All right, boys, it's your boy Butthole Renegade back with a Crew Motorfest video. Now, I don't think I've ever made a video about this topic. Power distribution on all-wheel drive cars. Okay, the bias. Is it better to go more 50-50? Is it better to go rear bias and make it a drift car? Now, I get a lot of comments. I usually ignore them because they're wrong, and that's okay. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay if you don't have working knowledge on the mechanics of a car, or mechanical knowledge, all right, or like really anything. Now, this isn't an attack. This isn't, I'm going to use a comment as a thing. It's just for educational purposes. I'm not mad at this person. I just want to like throw some info out there, okay? Because if you've noticed, whenever I can on all-wheel drive cars, I hang towards the 50-50 split to get the acceleration as fast as possible. Now, I've done testing before with right near 50-50 split and then 80% rear, 20% front. And the info here, I'll throw it up on the screen, okay? Hate to say I love your videos, but setting up cars handling has a lot to do with adjusting the power distribution. Obviously, every time I can, it's adjusted for the best acceleration, okay? If you go too far to the front, it don't grip. Not true. You get more grip. Okay, so the car is faster with it in the rear just because, so he's saying it's faster with it being rear bias, which I'll do a side-by-side comparison. We'll show you, okay? It's not faster. Not only is the speed lower, you also get to our checkpoints down the strip slower. Eventually, now I'll get into it. Let me finish the comment, okay? Just because you see 0 to 60 at 1.97, we're talking about the new the G-Son. The GTR 50 by AWD Design, all right? The lowest it will go doesn't mean it's better. It does. And if you soften the front, it handles better. Some cars, yes, sometimes you can go soft in the front and they will turn better. Not a lot of cars. The majority of them, from my testing, my tuning, go stiff, but that's okay. If that feels better for you, please change my tunes. Don't use my tunes, or just like swap, or like, oh, I like your tune, but this works better for me. Please do it. Or go to Militia Gaming, use his tunes, or go to Accord, or go to Rhino, or whoever makes tunes, whatever fits your driving style. We're not mad, dude. We're just out here trying to hang out, have a community, and just the more options you have for the people that don't understand, there you go, man. Like, if that works for you, I have people leaving me like, full, oh, try this build. They literally give me like everything. I'm like, dude, this works for me. If that works for you, go for it, dude. I've tried, so, you know, when I test the cars, I go negative, I go positive, then I tweak it, and then I'll switch one and not the other. It's just like, it's a whole thing. But anyway, look. So this new one, okay? Let's look at stock here, okay? It is a 65 rear, 35% split. Acceleration is 2.53. Now, if you take it up, bloop, we go to 1.97. Now, obviously, the more 50-50 split you have, the better the launches. All-wheel drive cars launch like freaking demons coming out of hell, okay? If you have rear bias, look at the acceleration. 3.07. You're losing 1.1 seconds, okay? And now here's the thing, okay? Yes, when you go more 50-50 split, you will notice some understeer. Okay, but so this is my thing. I tune cars to get out of the line the whole shot quick, because especially in grand races, if you can get out in front of those dirty little rammers, you're gonna have a better time. And plus, when you're constantly going through togeys and you have like tight corners and like there's a lot of acceleration, this is gonna get you out in front of the pack and keep you in front of the pack if you're a skilled driver. You know, if you're rear. So, like, look, before we talk about the rear, okay, when I'm doing, like, for this, I took load off the rear. Some cars you can't. This car is pretty grippy. So, by me taking aero out of the rear, it allows the front to turn in just a little bit better. And there's other things you can do and change. But I do try to compensate for that, okay? If you prefer a car that slides more, is a little more drift, because you go 80% rear, it's a drift car now. You got all the power going to the rear, doesn't accelerate as fast. Does it eventually catch up to the same speed at the same spot? Give or take 1 or 2 miles per hour, yes, but it does get there slower. And if you're rear bias, you don't have that grip coming out of the corners. You're going to be drifting, and you can tune for that, but some people like slidey cars and to like kind of slide around the corner. But if you leave my tune how it is and you're all-wheel drive and you're gripping and you're accelerating faster out of the whole shot, you're gonna be faster. There's no denying it. So look, I made a video here. Okay, I'm gonna throw it up and then I'm gonna go through and we're gonna talk about the points. Okay, so here we go. You'll see the 47-53 split is way faster and it gets to the destination faster. Okay, before we slam into the wall. I'm going to move my face for this because it covers the thing, but I'll still be here talking. Okay, so exhibit number 1. This was like right from where we started to the first kind of right near the barrels. You can see the difference here, how much closer we are. Look at the speed difference, 118 miles per hour to 96 mile an hour. Both of these started at the same time, okay? Same spot, same line. That's a huge difference. You're talking about 22 miles per hour quicker and it's further up the road. You can't deny that. That's a huge difference. It's not like it's minimal, okay? So let's go to the next one here. A little bit further up the road, you can see we're already at the orange stripe. This one's not even close. It's slowly closing the gap, but there's still a 15 miles per hour gap, okay? And then we get to the speed trap. We're already past the speed trap in this, so it's still far ahead, okay? Now, as you can see, it is starting to close that gap, okay? We're down to 6 miles per hour, okay? And at the speed trap, it was only 1.9 mile an hour slower at the speed trap. But the thing is, it got to the speed trap a lot further behind. That makes a difference. Like, you're talking about like 2, 3, maybe even 4 car lanes behind. Sure, the speed catches up, but it has to spin off the line, okay? So let's look at the next one here. And then right before we get to the wall, okay? We're already at the wall. This one's not even close. I mean, you're talking about a huge, if you're in a grand race and somebody's all the way up here, that's it. You're basically just out of slip now and you're done. And this one, 261 when we hit the wall. I believe I have one more. Already crashed on the wall. This is 260. So it basically, it does catch up by the time both of them hit the same mark, but the all-wheel drive gets there so much faster. You're talking about, I mean, look at this. Look at how much further ahead it gets to the wall in the same amount of time. So like when I see these comments like rear-wheel drive is faster, you don't know what you're doing, like blah, 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 like you need to change it. Rear-wheel drive is not faster. All-wheel drive all the way. Plus, when you're in and out of like corners and stuff, that all-wheel drive is going to boost you through. You saw off the line. Like if you have rear-wheel drive and you're just going to like spin and wait for traction, but like you can't deny how much further ahead this gets. So I just want to make a video because, I mean, I appreciate input. I appreciate things. I just kind of want to set the record straight because it's just all-wheel drive's the way to go. Now, if you like cars that, sure, you can put it more towards a rear bias and you can not have it at the 47 where I have it, and you can have it more towards the rear. And yes, it'll kind of corner a little better because the rear's kind of like slipping and allowing it to kind of pitch the way you want to go. But is that really worth it for how far behind this is? Not really. Okay, so I just wanted to touch on that because I've seen this a lot, and I don't remember if I made a video about this at launch or not, but I mean, you can't deny that all-wheel drive is faster. You can't. It's just it's too good. You get too far ahead, and especially in a grand race, if you start and you got a big straightaway, rear-wheel drive for the same car is not going to keep up. So when these people say, you know, you can't go off the numbers, I do agree to a certain extent. In this game, the acceleration numbers like this, the 1.97 seconds, is accurate. Braking, accurate. Lateral G's, accurate. The only thing that's not accurate is the speed, okay? You know damn well this thing hits 298 without draft, okay? 280. None of these top speeds are a thing. And I have people like, oh, if you change the final drive, the car has better top speed, or like sometimes you can take it and like you can go like, say 281 now. And people are like, oh, if you change the final drive, yes, you're shortening the gears. And I've tested it. Acceleration's really not that much different. It's very negligible, okay? Negligible. Look, people are all the time, look at that, it's good. No. I'm like, did you test it? They're like, no. Okay, you gotta test it, okay? If you go -2 short and you go test it, like, let's do it right now, okay? Let's see what this does. 298 without draft, okay? I gotta go back to the track. Hold on. All right, let's go around this corner and let's get up the top speed here. So 298 without draft. Probably move my camera, huh? There we go. I'm about to blast it in there. Okay, ready? 291. 291. Just by changing it to that -2. And if you do an acceleration test side by side with that -2, there's really no difference. Like, you don't notice. Like, so especially in this game with grand races, you need that top speed. You need it. You can't, okay, you might get like 0.1 of a second off your acceleration by doing this, but you're losing 7 miles per hour off your top end. It's not worth it, because then when you're on the highway and you're drafting, you're getting left behind. So like whenever somebody tells me that, I'm like, that's the only number you can't look at is the speed. I would always keep your final drive on long. But this was about the power distribution. I just wanted to show, that all-wheel drive bias is better, even if it creates some understeer. There's some things you can tune out of it, but rear-wheel drive is not the way to go on most of these all-wheel drive cars, okay? Sure, there might be an exception somewhere, but I mean, like, do the test yourself. Go full rear bias and then go right around a 50-50. It's not even close. All right. Anyway, boys, you know the drill. Subscribe, come back. See you on the next one.